Stay on top of mind, top of feed, and be in more places. Introducing SocialStackPro.com, a tool for real estate agents that inspires your content with the power of ChatGPT built right in. Try SocialStackPro.com for free. Focus on building your brand, building relationships, and post like a pro with SocialStackPro.com.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control. They take pride in caring for their customers' property by providing lawn and whole house pest control. Whether you have roaches or any other unwanted bugs in your home, Turf Pro has you covered. Or if your lawn needs weed control, fertilize, insect control, Turf Pro has you covered by providing custom treatments to meet your property's needs. No property is the same, so why should it be treated that way? Turf Pro, where the blue and yellow trucks make your lawn green. Call 850-890-5820. Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown. Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lyndhaven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
with the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, and all the beautiful surrounding areas. 101.9 down there in Port St. Joe. You can watch, listen, like, subscribe, comment, share. Subscribe is when you subscribe and share in one motion.
Exactly.
It's a new one.
Subscribe twice.
Yeah.
Then you're something squared.
Would that unsubscribe you, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same
email.
Yeah, there you go.
Best debate
voting. All those burner emails you got. Of course, you can download our free mobile app inside the Google Play and Apple Store. That one you do need to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. ESPNPC.com as well if you want to live on the old internet browser, the old www that's been around for a long time now. You can find us there as well. It's we haven't had one of these mornings in a while where we've had, a good consistent amount of rain.
But it's been nice, man.
I think we've needed it.
Waking up 6:45, experiencing the Ring of Fire, and then getting that to get back to sleep. Yeah, it's been nice. And that traffic stinks as always. It's everyone's like, 45 is the speed limit, but we need to bust that down to 25 miles an hour. Single file line, everyone.
I think it's going to get out of here pretty soon, though. It looks like about maybe 1, 2 o'clock at the latest. It'll slide on out, and that'll hopefully give us time for some fields to dry out so we can have some flag football action tonight.
I hope so, man. I want to, when you go like a whole week without playing, and we've been practicing a lot Tuesdays and Thursdays, so to keep these guys on top of everything, I think would be very beneficial for us. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at the mercy of Mother Nature all the time. That is for sure. We need a poll question today, and I think based on what you were talking about, I think maybe that's a good poll question to have. And do you like hot stuff or do you not? I think it's a nice simple poll question because there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of people like yourself, David, who prefer the hot stuff. And I think all these kids nowadays too, with the different chips and different
chips have been a huge influence on spicy stuff.
It's crazy. So do you like hot stuff, or do you prefer I like hot stuff, but I don't like the hot stuff that's gonna make my life not the greatest the next day, just because I'm a little dicey with that as it is anyway. But we'll throw that as the poll question: hot or not? I guess that's one of Jay's things too: hot or not. Joanna,
I'm gonna put it like hot stuff. Do you like hot stuff? However, do you like hot, and then in parentheses spicy stuff?
Yeah, that's perfect. And of course, it's Thursday, and we've got 4 Braves tickets to give away to next week's Friday game against the Philadelphia Phillies. We're going to play trivia at the end of this segment. You can give us a call, 850-215-6290. We'll take the 5th caller. We'll come back with an opportunity for you to win a family 4-pack. We were one and done last week. Coach Olds got that question right, but I've got NFL, I've got college football, I've got baseball, and then I've also got NBA instead of NHL this year on the heels of the NBA draft.
Yeah, how about that? Borat going number 1 last night.
That's right.
I'm thankful to play for this team.
Oh, man.
Golly, man. So many French people.
Well, I mean,
it's like the tables are turning over here. We need another French Revolution.
I don't know what's going on, but that seems to be the place where all the top NBA players are getting drafted from, and or the top drafts going into the NBA anyway. As we remember last year, Victor Wembanyama, who's already pretty much a superstar, maybe a top 15 NBA player next year. He won Rookie of the Year, and they're trying to build around him a little bit. But to no surprise, as you mentioned, the Atlanta Hawks took Zachary. I'm going to say Risa
Sher. So I was saying Richard yesterday. That's what I heard the previous night on ESPN. And then they even got it wrong. Adam Silver mispronounced it as Risa Sher.
That makes sense. It's got the French inflection there. So Cher on the end of that. Obviously, he was kind of predicted to go to the Hawks first, and he did, in fact, go to the Hawks. They got a grade B from Bleacher Report for taking him. Washington Wizards selected Alex Sarr, also from over there. He's a agile 7-footer and will succeed in the modern NBA to do with everything defense and offensive arsenal that's only just starting to take shape. Some of the comparisons to current NBA players, the likes of Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson Jr., to point out his defensive impact as both a paint protector and a capable switcher on the perimeter. It's like these guys are just getting more and more athletic. Back in the day when you were 7'2", 7'3", your athletic ability just wasn't there. But these guys now just seem to be extremely athletic at that kind of size, and that's a scary thought, that is for sure. The Houston Rockets, with the 3rd pick, took Reed Shepherd. I think that's where he was kind of projected to go. He's a point guard, shooting guard out of Kentucky. He is all-cap shooter, first and foremost, having gone an absurd 75 from 144 from long range in college. That's 52.1%. But he's not just a three-point shooter. He's a great playmaker, got great high IQ, soft touch around the basket. His lack of size a little bit, he's 6'2", 182, is a little worried defensively, but he at least won't lose the defensive battles to lack of effort or bad instinct. A grade B+ there for the Houston Rockets. And of course, the San Antonio Spurs, who had the number 1 pick last year and obviously took Victor Wembanyama, took shooting guard Stephon Castle from the University of Connecticut. The Spurs needed to come out this draft, obviously, with a playmaker, and Stephon Castle, he's a high-level playmaker on both sides of the court. He has a reliable jumper. He could have gone first overall in this draft. That's how strong the rest of his arsenal is. He can handle and create at 6'6", 210. He's an absolute menace on defense. If his shot comes around, he has a legitimate all-star upside. You can't say that about many prospects in the draft. The jumper is a worry, though. In fact, he is one of the biggest swing skills in the entire draft. If he can't shoot any better than he did at UConn, unfortunately, a low 26.7%, he could play tough in a major postseason moments. But A- there for the San Antonio Spurs. I think that's a great addition around Victor Wembanyama.
I have no idea. Don't really. I mean,
yeah, I'm in the same boat.
The best draft pick I felt like last night, and I honestly, like, I was saying this before I started watching SportsCenter last night as we were doing the Hot Ones Challenge, but seeing Dalton Connect go to the Lakers, I felt like that was one of the best picks to get you a spot shooter right there, kind of a dog. I mean, if you watched him in the tournament last year, he was a guy that you were on well before the SEC tournament last year whenever Tennessee was playing Auburn, and you saw Connect and the way that he was able to connect. For me, I feel like that was one of the best picks, and it's almost like, I don't know if he's as much of a spot-up shooter as what J.J. Redick was, and I would say he's more of a dog to some extent when it comes to playing inside.
Yes,
than what
a little more physical,
was.
for sure.
But yeah, I think to have a guy like J.J. Redick, have a guy like Dalton Connect come in his first year, I think that was one of my favorite picks of the draft last night. And then Zach Edey going to Memphis. Yeah. We'll see how that plays out for him.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, it's just a very, like, 2 nights for this bull crap, like, in all reality.
Yeah, the
NBA's losing me, man.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's the why are we having this kind of shift now? I just don't remember, and I, to be honest, haven't really paid a whole lot of attention, 10, 15 years ago to the NBA draft, but it just seems like more international players, more G League players are going in this first round of the draft. So, you don't necessarily know who a lot of these guys are. The guys coming out of college, of course, because there's so much on American TV. But yeah, I agree with you. And that was kind of what a lot of people were talking about this morning when I was reading about it, is that the Lakers got a steal with the 17th pick, getting Dalton Connect, who obviously was one of the better players in college last year. And maybe they're moving in the right direction.
I mean, Jay Bilas was saying they got a lottery pick out of it. He was a lottery pick type guy. So we'll see. Rob Pelinka was saying they had him top 10 across their board. But either way it goes, I think that was one of the more exciting picks for me last night. Also, one of the more exciting things that happened, not necessarily to me, but my buddy Dalton Cope had his second kid, Braden, last night. So congratulations to Dalton and Sasha.
There you go. Sasha had the kid. Dalton was just there.
Yeah, he was there.
Just kidding.
You know how that goes. Better than I do.
Absolutely. Then all of a sudden they're almost teenagers, and you're like, what the heck has happened?
Yeah, no doubt, man. Their first daughter, or their daughter that they had first, Brooklyn, man, she's a wild thing, man. I'm talking about her vocabulary is just amazing.
Yeah, it's they're smart little things, that's for sure. And they'll keep you on your toes, no doubt about it. I was texting you and Bill last night, and I know Bill, I appreciate Bill hanging out with us for almost 2 full weeks. But he's got some other things to do now. So,
hire Bill.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Get him going out there. But there wasn't a whole week. We got home. I had some board meetings with the chamber last night, and there's not a whole lot on. The NBA draft was on, but is that really something I'm going to tune in and watch? No, probably not, because you can find out about it so quickly. But I stumbled across on ESPN News some interesting sports, and we tuned in for a little bit, and Liam was even excited about
Ocho.
it. It was the Ocho, but on ESPN News, and it was a great lineup. It started with adult kickball, which was I've never played the kickball leagues and stuff like that here, but it was pretty intense. It was co-ed and a lot of former professional athletes and stuff like that, but a lot of fun to watch. And the third base position and the catcher position in kickball is huge after watching that yesterday.
Really, what makes the catcher position so big?
Well, because a lot of the guys, I guess there's a dotted line that goes right through the pitcher's mound to first and second base that your fielders cannot pass until the ball is kicked. So like the catcher position, there was a lot of, like, I would call them bunts down the third base line to try to get to first, but that catcher could come right out after they kicked it, and a lot of times that catcher was making the play, throwing it to first versus the third baseman.
Did they have some good pegs?
There wasn't. It was more base, and it was crazy. Like the technique for the third baseman, he'd dive on the ball and he'd basically chest pass it while diving to get it to first base.
Interesting.
There was a lot of strategy that went into it. It was more so
procedure.
like real. Like they've been doing this. They know what they're doing. But it was fun. And then of course it switched right after that to wiffle ball, which that was exciting as well.
I mean, I love me some wiffle ball, man. And they got all different kinds of games now, blitz ball.
Liam just used the gift card he had to Academy and got himself a blitz ball and a blitz ball bat.
There you go, man.
Which apparently helps your hand-eye coordination when it comes to hitting.
You're seeing those balls break all different types of ways, and they break even more so than what you see in baseball, and it comes at a slower pace, too. So it's just like video games, right?
Yeah, building your hand-eye.
You start playing those games, and you're like, man, I suck at this or whatever, but if you turn the levels down and don't do it just as a cheat code to try to get better, but you got to have things come at you slower. It's like how we do in football practice, right?
Yeah.
You start it out where it's kind of almost a walking motion, and then the more repetitions that you get, the faster pace, the faster speed that you're getting at. And then the whole point of it is, man, if you got players playing and not thinking, they're playing off of intuition, off of their instincts there, and you're going to get more out of them.
Yeah, and that's what that's what you want to get to at some point. When you can do something without thinking, that's when you can do it at the highest level. But it takes a lot to get there to that particular part.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. You can't just jump in that deep end of the pool. That's for sure, especially if you don't know how to swim.
That's how I started swimming, though. I just got thrown into the pool by my cousin.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it is instinctual to swim as human beings, supposedly. But I mean, shoot, you see that they do it with babies. They'll throw babies in a pool and they'll float up to the top. I mean, it's terrifying, but I mean, it works.
Let's a little trauma. That'll help you, right?
They ain't gonna remember it anyway. Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But
as long as there's no sharks in the pool, right?
There you go.
Unless you're playing Sharks and Minnows.
Sharks and Minnows. Sharks and Minnows. Great game. Marco Polo. Yeah, man. There's a lot of good pool games.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good pool
games. I would say, Marco Polo just in and of itself might be one of the best. I never got to play any water polo. But yeah,
I don't think that's you show up at a party at somebody's house and they got a pool. You're like, hey, you guys want to play water polo? They're like, well, the pool's only 4 feet deep. So
I just love when they had basketball goals. You know what I mean? Like if I was over at one of my buddies' house and they had a basketball goal there, it's like, all right, we ain't getting out of the pool today, boys.
Pool basketball or pool volleyball?
It'd be basketball still, just because of the being able to throw passes and dunk. But as far as if you're trying to include everyone and have more fun, I think pool volleyball is the way to go.
As long as you got a consistent depth, because then obviously there's a big advantage one side or the other.
Well, if you're playing, you could play like kids versus adults or whatever. Put all the adults in the deep end and then all the kids in the shallow end.
Kids versus adults is always one of my favorite things.
I mean,
we didn't do that in the winter post dynasty season, but this summer season, if we have an opportunity, we're definitely doing a kids versus adults.
Oh well, we've already seen in practice that's what the two of we can do. So
and throw Joe in there, and all of a sudden we were shredding those kids.
Come on, man. Talk about, man. Mr. Joe, he is in some good shape.
He's in shape. And I think he surprised a lot of the kids when that happened too. They looked around like, "Oh my gosh, you just blew right by us." And Joey's like, "Yeah, I know. My dad's in shape."
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, a lot of fun, no doubt. And then I think I didn't watch this one, but I saw later in the lineup in the evening was pillow fighting. So don't know.
Didn't watch that one?
No, didn't make it to that one. But I guess there's a sport competition of pillow fighting.
I think they even put people in the octagons these days with
pillows.
With pillows, yeah.
I wonder what the pillow stuffing is. Like, is it true down? Is it synthetic down? You accidentally put a rock in there and things get spicy.
No, it seems, or it reminds me of some of those memes and some of those short videos that I've seen, more or less, I guess, AI generated videos of the guys who will be debating tonight.
Yeah. Oh, that's tonight. Thank goodness we'll miss it. Hopefully we're playing football. AB's
been keeping us updated with CTE ESPN, so.
Yes, he has. He's still being very vocal.
He's a journalist, man.
That's true. If you're reporting on something, that's journalism, right?
And it's
whether
journalism
it's true
at its
or
finest.
not.
Well, I mean, some of the stuff that he's tweeting about is true.
Yeah.
He's got this. He's got this balance, like bipolar news.
Yeah, absolutely.
True, not true. You be the judge.
Yeah, it makes it
That's
more.
Kind of like how all.
That's literally how every news is. Is this really true or is this not true? But that's the world we live in now with all these different things going on. A couple other things from the NBA. Jimmy Butler will play out his last year of the contract before an opt-out in 2025, clearing up any rumors that he will be traded this offseason. And then, of course, the Heat and Bam Adebayo are close to a big 3-year, $166 million extension. The Knicks are even more all in than we talked about yesterday, agreeing to a 5-year, $212.5 million contract with offensive guard Anunoby, if I pronounce Anunoby. Yeah, that's a good one. Whom they acquired in the trade deadline last season. This probably means center Isaiah Hartenstein signs elsewhere, though. The draft will continue today at 3 p.m. Central Time. And like you said, yes, it's 2 days now. And Bronny James will likely be selected tonight, and maybe he's not. We'll see. We'll find out later on today. And then, of course, free agency for the NBA officially begins on Sunday.
It would be interesting to see the Boston Celtics take Bronny James is like holding them hostage.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of memes about that. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity, do you do that? Like, just want cuz?
I mean, I think that there's
some strategy in there.
There's marketability, first and foremost, with Bronny, at least for a couple of years. So if you're a down team, I think that you lose. If you're a team that doesn't have like the greatest market, I don't know if it honestly helps you that much, though. But there is that making the Lakers want to, have to spend a little bit more, whichever team LeBron James ends up going to, because at the end of the day, he's not a Laker right now. He opted out of the contract. He's going to have an opportunity to talk with other teams about his free agency. So whoever does land Bronny James is going to at least be able to have a conversation with LeBron.
Yeah. Hey, going to be interesting, that's for sure. All right, we're coming up on our first. We'll see if we're one and done this week. Hopefully, we maybe push it a couple segments, but if not, we just want a winner, and here's your first chance to win 4 tickets to the Braves game against the Phillies next Friday. It's going to be a big series for the Atlanta Braves, trying to close that gap a little bit in the NL East. You give us a call, 850-215-6290. We're going to take the 5th caller. That 5th caller hopefully will join us on the line here when we get back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds and a high of 86 with wind 13 to 17 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. A mixture of some clouds and likely thunderstorms tonight and quite warm near 80. Definite thunderstorms and 86 tomorrow. This is your Thursday's weather sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
If you're not scanning while the cashier is begging, we're judging you a little.
Why am I working at the grocery store now?
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios at ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is how we do it.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm going to have a talk with Bone Crusher because all of our rejoiners seem to be themed around the grocery store. Maybe he's just always hungry when he's doing them. I don't know.
I think that's the case. You know how that goes.
Yep. Just one thing on your mind. You got food on the mind. Where do you get the food from? The grocery store. But we got to play some trivia real quick and see if we're going to give away.
And this show talks a lot about food.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We do talk quite a bit about food, no doubt about that. But we do have Travis on the line. He's our fifth caller in this first opportunity on this little wet, little dreary Thursday, but hopefully it'll clear up soon. Travis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing blessed, guys. How about yourself?
Awesome. Blessed is an understatement. No doubt about that. All right, I got 4 categories for you. Hopefully we don't have some questions about it like we did last week. But we got NFL, college football, MLB, or NBA. You tell me which category. I'll find you a question. We'll see if we're sending you up to Atlanta here next week.
NFL.
All right, I like it. NFL. All right, give me 1 second just to see a fun one. Not too hard, not too tough. All right, this may be, let's see. All right, kind of easy, kind of not. Which NFL team has never appeared in a Super Bowl? This is multiple choice. The Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, or D, all of the above. We did talk about this yesterday. D is the correct answer.
That was real easy.
I know.
Softball.
I wanted Travis to go up there to Hotlanta and watch some Atlanta Braves. So Travis, just make sure when you get off, David get your email, as they'll be able to just transfer those tickets there. But Travis, big Atlanta Braves fan?
Oh yeah, man. And my son, I've been trying to do it for weeks now. My son wrote David and them yesterday because he's been on the show. He was mad at me because I was 1 question off last week. You know, the guy got 3 and I only got 2.
See, I feel better now.
This will be his first game, so yeah, he'll be real excited.
That's awesome, and hell,
softball well deserved.
There you go. Yeah. See, it's like I knew for there on the inside.
Intuition.
Absolutely. But I mean, and what a game to go to for his first game, going to play against the division rival Philadelphia Phillies. Currently, the Braves are 8 games back, and maybe that series they have up there at Truist Park next week can help close that gap a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think the Braves' biggest thing right now that they need to do to kind of keep pushing? They've turned it around a little bit, but still, kind of jumping around. They had a good series win against the Yankees, and the doubleheader yesterday, I think they split 1 of 1. But what do you think they need to do? Just kind of continue on the way they're going and just try to close these gaps as we get closer to the fall?
So I really think consistency is the key right now. Like we'll play like we are the Braves, and then we play like, hey, we're still trying to find our footing. I think our relief pitching needs to come in, a little stronger to start and not just a little shaky. But I think we're on the right path, especially with all the injuries and people being out and coming back. I think we'll get there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's a long season for a reason, and injuries are part of it. You've seen it with a lot of other teams, too, losing players left and right. And I think Shohei Ohtani's being advised not to participate in the home run derby. And it's just it's one of those things, a part of the season. But, man, I am happy that you are getting to go up there and getting a first-time game at Truist Park, Philadelphia Phillies. You'll have to give us a call that following week and let us know how the trip went.
Oh, absolutely. I've already asked David because, Mason's trying to get back on the show with him. So
yeah, we're going to make it happen.
To hear his story.
July 12th or July 19th. I've got that written down. I'll kind of come to a conclusion on that around July 5th. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Hey, all right, my man.
July 19th. That's it's a big day and a lot of different things. But Travis,
I can't promise that we're going to be on the air.
There you go. or you will, or you'll be distracted. What you guys talked about? You'll be like Jay, but except you'll be doing something else.
But I'll be started on July 16th, though.
There
Best
you go.
Believe.
There you go. No doubt about it. Travis, congratulations. Thanks for giving us a call, and thanks for being a listener here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Always. Thanks, guys. I voted for every one of y'all at Best of the Bay. I hope you all win, and y'all have a great day.
We appreciate that very, very much, too. You do the same. All right, speaking of July 19th, David, that segue worked in perfect to what our next topic here was going to be. Like I've mentioned all week, it's kind of funny that we're using these release days for video game stuff, but hey, that's the world we live in right now. I don't know if you've talked about it on the afternoon underdogs, but the first thing we're going to talk about is it was released 2 days ago. That is the top 10 toughest places to play in EA Sports college football. And some people may agree, some people may not, but this is the rankings that the game EA Sports came up with, and that starts with number 1 on this list, the toughest place to play. They've got it down as Kyle Field, and that's where Texas A&M plays, home of the 12th man. They haven't won a national championship in a men's major college sport since 1939, but obviously very loud, very hostile, very tough place to play, no doubt about that. Number 2 on this list, the home of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Dixieland Delight, that's Bryant-Denny Stadium. Number 3 on this list, which I think you can interchange with 1 or 2 very easily, and that's Tiger Stadium, Death Valley over there in Baton Rouge, home of the LSU Tigers, that is for sure. Very, very tough place to play. David, what do you think? Kyle Field, Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tiger Stadium with LSU 1, 2, 3 on EA Sports college football.
Ridiculous that Kyle Field is up there at number 1, but you got to have ridiculous things in your list to make people talk about them.
Yeah.
I think it's Death Valley, bar none.
Yep.
Bryant-Denny, I think they get up there just because of the long 67-2 since 2013 at the house there. Bryant-Denny, one of those being a loss to Texas.
That's fair.
So Bryant-Denny, they're cool being up there. I think even Penn State, Beaver Stadium can be a little higher up there. Michigan, I mean, they had a great run at the house as well. Autzen Stadium, I think, is a little low. I think they had them at 11.
Yeah, and, we get a lot of bias down here, too, and people are like, oh, Oregon, that's not a tough place to play. But when you really start diving into their games there and the atmosphere and what it looks like, it's a very tough place to play.
Well, and what do stadiums around here seat? 100+ thousand,
Yep.
for the majority of them. Autzen Stadium's 57,000. So, yeah, I think that their raucous environment is up there with the best of them, but I don't think that it comes close. Without having been there to a night game at Death Valley Stadium, I would still say just watching it on TV is the one. And then Jordan Hare, I think that they had him in the top 25.
Yeah,
but just
14, little disrespect there.
I don't think that is disrespect. It's just one of those things that crazy ththings happen there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen all the time, though, because ask New Mexico State. That's my gripe with Kyle Field is like, okay, it's one thing if you're losing these kind of minuscule games on the road, but for Kyle Field, Texas A&M, they lost to App State there at the house. For Auburn, they've lost to Mexico State at the house. Like, those are, yes, you've got great environments, but you're also taking losses that you should not be taking. So, so 14, is that what you said? 20?
14, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's entirely fair for the Tigers.
And you got Neyland Stadium at 13, Memorial Stadium up there at Clemson at 12, like you said, Autzen Stadium at 11, and then I saw a lot of Florida State and Florida fans kind of going back and forth on this one. Florida State getting the slight edge against Ben Hill Griffin Stadium 9 and 10. Again, we're talking about a video game ranking, but
with this year, I would say that Ben Hill Griffin has to be above Doak Campbell, right? Because all of the construction that's going on over there at Doak.
Absolutely. And will that be part of the game? I don't know.
That would be really cool if it was like, and it's not going to be.
No.
That would be really cool if it was like live updates.
Yeah, like your live roster, same thing. But yeah, I mean, listening to Chris Kramer and Florida fans and Florida State fans, and I've been to a couple Florida State games. I've never been to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, but everybody I talk to says it's a pretty wild and crazy environment. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the swamp, man, definitely. But it's hard to get all of these in a list. You put something out there and you get the fans talking, and I think EA Sports got exactly what they wanted. And I loved seeing the release of the sights and sounds and how they put everything together.
Yep.
That was like a nice little 3-minute video. Kirk Herbstreit narrating that. That was great.
Absolutely. Well, and pivoting over, the next release was this morning, and that was the top 10 offenses in EA Sports College Football 25. No doubt, number 1, who you think?
Well, you said that. So the last time we talked about the number 1 team overall, it ended up being Georgia. I'm gonna go with the team who I guessed first. I'm gonna say Ohio State with the best offense.
Actually, Ohio State's not even in the top 4.
That doesn't make sense.
I know.
So the best offense then, I guess we'll have to go with Georgia?
Yep, it's Georgia, and maybe the quarterback has a little bit to do with that. You know, Georgia's returning, and Ohio State's got new guys in there. But, yeah, Georgia 94 overall. Same number, even though they put this next team at number 2, still a 94 overall. And that is the team from up there at the Autzen Stadium. That's the Oregon Ducks, which I
like that.
I think they're moving into the Big Ten, but they're as potent as any team out there. And then they have it as 3 and 4, Alabama at 3, Texas at 4, both 91 overall. But he's surprised Alabama and Texas over Ohio State at 89 overall in that 5th spot.
I would say so. I mean, it's going to be year 2 of Jalen Milroe. Now, Texas, I'm not as surprised because Quinn Ewers coming back. I can see
Texas sliding up a little closer to the top.
But they did lose a little bit at wide receiver. Who knows what they're replacing them with? We'll find out as we get into the first 2-3 weeks of the season. And again, all of these are kind of just based on speculation to this point. So, and it makes it
algorithms,
fun. Yeah. But, we'll see about Alabama.
Yep.
We'll see.
Alabama 3, Texas 4, 91, Ohio State 5 at an 89 overall. Also, 4 other. There's one in here that I don't know if I agree with, but we'll talk about it. We got all the others are 89, going 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 5 Ohio State, 6 LSU.
Oh, I thought you said Ohio State wasn't in the top 10.
Top 4.
Oh, top 4.
4. Yes, 89 overall. LSU 89 overall. Miami 89 overall.
LSU with an 89 overall being led by Doug Nesbitt?
Yep.
Or whatever.
And the U at 89 overall. Here's one that's real crazy.
Well, they got Cam Ward, though, down there in Miami, so that's going to be...
That'll help huge, Yep. This one I pretty much don't agree with. Colorado, 89 overall.
They're going to get the love. There's a lot of people out there who say Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback here in 2025. I would still probably say that it's Carson Beck at this point. But, hey, look, you bring the hype. You've got the hype.
Here it is. Answer it again. Last year, you did a little bit, but then it kind of fizzled out. Are you going to be able to bring that back this year? We'll see. Number 9, 89 overall, Missouri, which...
I like that. I feel like they could be higher. I think Missouri is the team that you got to watch out for this year. I know we're talking offensive side of the ball. Well, Brady Cook is back. Luther Van Burden is going to be one of the best wide receivers in the game. However, on the defensive side, a guy that we get to watch out for this year is going to be none other than Cam Keys out of Mosley High. So keep your eyes on him on the defensive side of the ball.
It's going to be good stuff. Number 10, Clemson at an 87 overall. Cade Klubnik leading that team this year coming up. And those are the top 10, but then it goes Utah 87, Penn State 87, Ole Miss 87, Kansas, Arizona.
Ole Miss being that low is kind of surprising, too. Yeah. This is a year for Ole Miss. Like it is Missouri. Missouri-wise, they've got a favorable schedule. They're coming off of a great season from last year. Didn't lose too many pieces outside of their running back. But Ole Miss is a team that I think can shock the world. Well, it wouldn't be shocking, but I think they can win the SEC this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In Kansas, Arizona, NC State with Grayson McCall leading that football team, 16 and again 87 overall. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Memphis, SMU, UCF with Randy Pittman over there. Get you some Randy Pittman merch. It's all out there right now. Florida State 83 overall with Oklahoma, Virginia Tech, and the Men of Troy from USC rounding out your top 25 offenses.
When you said the Men of Troy at first, I'm like, Troy's got a top 20 offense? Let's go.
Right? That would be fantastic. But no, the Men of Troy from Southern Cal.
I don't know about, we'll see who replaces Caleb Williams. Lincoln Riley is always known for having good quarterback play, so we'll see. The defense, I think, is going to be suspect again for USC, as it always normally is underneath Lincoln Riley. Florida State, man. Hey, DJU. Can he come in? And they've got a lot of Bama transfers, a lot of transfers in general.
A lot of transfers.
So if that offense is popping, hey, we'll see if they can get left out of the 12-team college football playoff this year with an undefeated season.
Man, just tough. Left out of that. The check swing call in the College World Series. Whew.
Golf losing the national championship.
Man. It's just tough.
Yeah.
Now, their soccer team, though, I think their women's soccer team won the Natty, if I'm not mistaken. So you got that one. You got that one. Soccer is a weird one with the way the conferences work, and a lot of teams play in Conference USA that all their other sports are in SEC or whatever it may be. But here's I don't know if you saw this. You probably did because you're very up up with all this stuff. But in the I think it was the 20U, yes, the IFAA, the 20U World Junior Football Championship semifinal game, the U.S. lost 41-20 against Japan. Obviously, social media was on fire after this happened.
Just making excuses.
It's just wild stuff. I mean, the country is undefeated in Super Bowls and conference college football national titles. And one thing typically America does better than the rest of the world is play football. But they lost yesterday, as I said, 40-21. And, a lot of people are currently thanking our leadership of the country for why we lost this one, which makes no sense at all. But just, wild stuff. But kudos to Japan. I mean, is there a way to watch this? I'm sure there's a way to go back and watch this game. But some people said, did Japan play with Godzilla or something? And just a lot of really good stuff. And just kind of baffled.
It took me a while to figure out, was this tackle, was this flag? Because if it's flag, it makes even more sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The swiftness of the Japanese people. But man, seeing this yesterday was just kind of like, what's going on here? And then of course you got everyone in the comments saying, well, if this was an NFL team, well, yeah, no doubt,
of course. But
we're talking about under 20 kids.
But
here.
we still should have, you would think, the best players in the world.
You would like to think so, but again, we don't know what's going on in other countries when it comes to youth football.
That's true.
And then there's that thing, man. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you are overlooking your opponent, you will get beat.
In a heartbeat. That's what
happened.
Yeah, that's what we talk about the kids all the time. I said, you got to play every game like that team is better than you and they can beat you, regardless of the scenario, because your mind's going to get in the way. And that's probably 100% what happened in this game. They didn't just get beat. They got crushed.
They got walloped. They got shellacked.
41-20. Somebody said, what? Was Daniel Jones the quarterback or something? What happened? Send Mahomes in. Just a lot of other good stuff. But yeah, full on. And Japan at one point, it looks like with 8:10 left to go in the second quarter, was up 20-0. Which kind of makes sense because kind of surprised him probably a little bit. And I'm going to have to, and then one person said, I don't care how many U.S. tax dollars are spent to make sure this never happens again. But just some wild stuff. And I didn't really know we were playing under 20 international football, but we certainly know now.
Yeah, I did not know that this was a thing, the IFAF. So we'll have to pay a little bit closer attention to this. And I'm with old buddy who said, I don't care how many tax dollars we need to spend on this. There's more important things. There's less, there's a lot more important things we could be spending our money on, but pride sometimes gets in the way. And this is a time where we need to have pride in one of our sports, and that would be football.
No doubt about it.
Especially tackle football. I can get away with this happening in flag football, but you throw the pads on. Gridiron Gang of USA should not be losing to other countries.
Nope, no doubt about it. No, not losing anything at all. That is for sure. But just a little fun fact, wild news coming out of the International Football, whatever AF stands for there. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about golf, a little golf update, where everybody stands. If you combine the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour on the money list, who do we think's in that top 20? We're going to find out when we get back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.
If you want to see the Caitlin Clark effect, here it is. Bad team, small market, and they are worth more, the Indiana Fever, than the Los Angeles Sparks, the Dallas, Atlanta, Washington teams, and almost equal to a team in Chicago.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
In the jewelry business, there is no substitute for experience. David Adamson has over 46 years of experience, 32 of those in Lynn Haven. Designing and creating fine jewelry is more than a job for David, it's a joy. If you're looking for a spectacular jewelry design that says you, or perhaps you need your jewelry repaired, look no further than David Adamson Designer Jewelry. All work is done in-house and always to your complete satisfaction. Stop in today at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Ohio Avenue in Lynn Haven. They're on Facebook and at tcjeweler.com.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. He gives out raw scallops and Time magazines for Halloween. Jay is part of the Inside Drive. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Now, a little red looks like it's starting to let up a little bit out there. You know, it's not quite noon yet, but hopefully the rain will slowly move out of the area. But I think we did need a little rain. It was getting a little crispy out there and get the grass a little greener, a little less, get some photosynthesis going on. We really needed that. We've had plenty of sun, but not as much as the H2O to make that happen.
There you go. Photosynthesis. Yeah. Make it happen.
That's it. Get it going. Get it going. Quick update on the leaderboard, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. A lot of the first wave is finishing up as we speak. Aaron Rye is currently leading the tournament at 6 under par. Nick Dunlap and Cam Young. Cam Young having another good week. He's both shot 67 -5. Ben Cole's hanging in there too. Lanto Griffin, which is one of my favorite names out there on tour. Again, as we talked about yesterday, kind of a light field, but there's some cool names in there. And Luke Clanton, Florida State golfer, he's playing as an amateur in this tournament. He still plays for Florida State, but got an exemption into this tournament. They went to the national championship, but great start, -3 through 15, currently tied for 11th in his first PGA Tour event. I think the other gentleman, Miles Russell, the 15-year-old, he does not tee off until 1:11, and then Neil Shipley making his pro debut tees off at 1 p.m. So cool to see Luke Clanton. It just goes to show how good these guys in college are, too. They can convert from playing college golf, obviously playing in the U.S. Amateur and that kind of stuff, too, and qualifying for the U.S. Open, but you can go, that's what I always say, these guys are all so good, but it's that break, it's the moment, it's the bounce, it's the putt that falls that gets you over that hump, because there's only so many spots on these highest tours out there, the highest tours that there are in golf. So, but kudos to them, and Aaron Rye's been having a great season, and if you want to live bet some PGA Tour stuff right now, that Cam Young at plus 850, probably not a bad one. Nick Dunlap, if you like rolling the dice a little bit, he's currently one back. Long way to go. We're only pretty much done with the first wave of the first round. He's plus 2,800, and current leader Aaron Rye is plus 750 to win. I think live betting golf is one of my favorite things, because you can just kind of, once you play a first round, you kind of know how they're going to be. You see how they're playing, and it keeps it interesting for you. So live betting sports in general is an interesting one.
Live betting sports in general is fun. I don't really do live betting for golf as much. I'm kind of more like that. All right, let's see. Sometimes I'll see the odds, before any of the rounds starts and try to take like a long shot or so. Other than that, I'll wait till all 3 rounds have been played and then to give it my best go for who's going to come out on top on Sunday. But I don't think I recognized any of the names that you just mentioned outside of Cam Young.
Yep. And that's, one of the things at the PGA Tours, since they went to these signature events, is these kind of off quote-unquote events just aren't going to have the same attendant or the same names in there. And it does give another opportunity for a lot of the up-and-comers to go. I just thought about it. I didn't even realize I paid attention to it. Did you know you can bet corner kicks kicks in these Euro and Copa America games.
No.
Like exact corner kicks, like 0 to 8, 9 to 11, 11 plus. And then you can also bet who will have, like, what is the differential in corner kicks. I started diving into this yesterday. Not that I'm betting a lot of it, but I was just like, wow, you can literally bet.
Would that be combined or just per team?
That'd be combined.
Okay.
That would be combined.
What's the average amount of corner kicks?
No idea.
Cross country with a ball game.
I have no idea. I don't know. I think I put 9 to 11 and I just looked at it. I forgot that I even did it and I looked at it, it didn't hit. But I also don't, it doesn't tell you how many corners there were.
That's AG called soccer the other day cross country with a ball, and I don't think I'm ever going to call it anything different.
That's fair. It's fair. Yeah, you're running quite a bit, especially if you're a midfielder.
Oh man, the stamina and endurance that you got to have to play that game, and it gets quite physical as well. They don't like soccer as much. I've come to really enjoy watching the game, especially when it's country.
I love international soccer.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
Absolutely.
How about Georgia taking down Portugal?
Well, and Portugal pulled a lot of their main guys. They were already in the, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
But for noobs like me, it was impressive.
Yeah, and Liam was trying to find, because he had won $26 the other day. So, of course, he's like, I need to bet something. So he bet 2 goal scorers for Portugal. And I was like, you should have bet the plus 700 Georgia, and you would have turned that $2,600 or $26 into, about almost $200.
There you go.
But, you got to know. And it's just, like I said, like you said, international soccer is pretty cool and a lot of fun to watch because you're not playing for your club that you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars for. You're actually playing for your country.
I got a question for you when it comes to golf. So, should the LIV Tour be scheduling their events for these less than signature events, PGA Tour wise? Like, should they be, or should they have their tournament set up when it's big tournaments? Not the majors, of course, because a lot of their guys are going to be playing in that. But should they try to stack up against their signature events, or should they stack up and play their tournaments in these type of windows?
I don't know how they schedule it, like what the rhyme or reason is. I mean, their next tournament's July 12th through 14th, so there's a few gaps in between there. But to your point, you would think you would schedule the events when there's not as a big of a competition to watch. I mean, last week, though, kind of broke that mold a little bit. The attendance at the Nashville event, again, I think Nashville's an anomaly, kind of like the Australian event. You just got a lot of people that want to go out and have a good time and enjoy watching golf. You would think that they would do it not against big time PGA Tour events to try to pull more people to watch, but do they really care how many people watch?
Yeah, that's a good point too, because if they're having people coming there to the establishment, I think that's maybe what LIV is looking for even more so than TV ratings, even though what have we seen? That's where all the money is. It feels like is in TV rights deals.
You would think, especially on the football side. And it's funny you say that because I believe we talked about their exclusive streaming company, Caffeine TV. They're done.
They're done?
I think the company.
They're not on the CW anymore?
Well, they're on the CW.
Okay.
But the Caffeine TV, the streaming service, I think Caffeine TV, went out of business.
They ran out of caffeine.
They did.
No Mountain Dew for you.
No Moss. No Moss. They need more. But comparing LIV and PGA Tour combined money list, somebody did this, and I thought it was very interesting. You know a good bit about what's going on in the golf world. Who do you think out of the top 5, who do you think has more on the current money list combined, PGA or LIV?
I'm going to say combined wise.
Yeah, so you've got the total amount.
I'll say 3 PGA Tour players, 2 LIV players.
Have you seen this list before?
No, I'll say Scotty Scheffler's up there at number 1, right?
Absolutely. He's killing it, 27 plus.
DeChambeau sitting there 2.
He's in the top. You nailed it. You got 3 PGA Tour guys and 2 LIV guys, but DeChambeau's in there. He's not. He's 4th.
He's 4th?
He's 4th.
All right. So, man, who's the other LIV guy that's made?
He's had a great year. He's from South America. It's probably not a name you're even thinking about.
Yeah, no, because I was going to say Cam Smith, but I haven't heard much about Cam Smith this year. I think he did win one event.
Yeah, Joaquin Niemann.
Oh, okay.
Who's having he's having the best year on the LIV Tour right now.
And then the other PGA guys, who is that going to be? Xander?
Xander is number 2.
Okay.
Bingo.
And then the final PGA guy. Oh, this one's grinding my gears. I don't know.
You know.
I do know?
You know. He collapsed.
Oh, Rory.
Number 5. What is going on out there? Is that like streaming stuff or is just people in here talking? I'm going to have to close the door and really be lonely. It's odd. But yes, I can't believe David nailed that. The top 5 spots here on this combined Live Golf PGA Tour money list. Like you said, Scotty Scheffler is so far ahead of everybody else.
What is it? Yeah, what is
He's at $27.696 million. But he's also won, pretty much everything he's played in. He's won all the signature events. He's won the Masters. So he's won TPC Sawgrass, which was another signature event. So he's winning like just ridiculous amounts of money. Xander Schauffele, as you mentioned, number 2, $15 million less than Scotty Scheffler at $12.636 million, and then Joaquin Niemann at $12.2 million. Bryson DeChambeau at $11.3. That also includes the biggest purse ever in the history of golf at the U.S. Open. I think he won $4.3 on that one. And then Rory McIlroy having a ho-hum year, only at $10.03 million. But it'd be interesting to see how many events, you compare how many events they played in, and then that kind of changes that list a little bit as
right,
well.
If they were playing more events, then those numbers could look a little bit differently.
Yep.
And if they could play, if they could play in their live events when they've got live events, but then they could play in the less than signature events on the PGA Tour, that would be... They could make some more money right there, too.
Absolutely. And I think something like that's eventually going to happen. But out of the top 20, 12 are live players and 8 are PGA Tour players. So it goes to show you that obviously playing on the live tour, although it's smaller, 54 holes, shotgun tournaments, you're not playing as many events, is more lucrative on average than playing on the PGA Tour, with Scotty Scheffler being a really, really big outlier in that situation. All right, speaking of Scotty Scheffler, I want to compare Tiger and Scotty in 2 particular seasons. Remember Tiger Woods' 2000 season, unbelievable season. He was winning everything he played in. And then, of course, we've got Scotty Scheffler's 2024 season. This is the first 15 starts. Victories, Tiger, 6. Scotty, 6. Top 10s, 12 for Tiger, 13 for Scotty. Average score for Tiger in 2000, 68.7. Average score for Scotty Scheffler, 67.8. And then neither one of them obviously have missed a cut. Now, the scoring average, I'm going to skew that a little bit because the technology, the golf, there's just so many things different 24 years ago in golf. So I would say a 68.7 scoring average in 2020 is... Not that what Scotty's doing isn't impressive, but is more impressive than what Scotty Scheffler has done this year with a 67.8, just because golf has changed so much.
And if you're saying that, I definitely agree with you because that's true, right? That's what beat Tiger Woods was technology and 9 irons and the windshield and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's some other off the cusp things there that happened that changed things for Tiger. But I mean, pretty much Scotty's right up to par with one of the best seasons ever in professional golf, and I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, and those stats from Tiger, those are just through the first.
It's all through the first 15 starts of your season.
2000, what did Tiger finish with? If you know that
2000 Tiger Woods wins, I can look it up here pretty quick. He won 9 of the 20 PGA Tour events he had broken. That's right. We talked about the other day, most wins in a PGA Tour season, and Tiger's had 9. I think he's also the only one that's had 8. There's a few guys that had 7, including Tiger, and then of course Scotty Scheffler. But the PGA Tour season, it as much as we feel like it's just begun, there's really not that much more left in it, as you'll be coming up here pretty soon on the playoffs as we get closer to August. So next week they got the John Deere Classic. Is he going to play in it? I don't know. Is he going to go over and play in the Scottish Open the following week before the Open Championship? We'll see. But you got the John Deere. That's a smaller one. Then you got the Genesis Scottish Open, which a lot of PGA Tour guys go and play in because it's a great warm-up for the Open Championship. And then they have a smaller event off the side of that one. And then the Open Championship over there at Roltrune in Scotland coming up. Then the Barracuda Championship, the 3M Open. And then, of course, you dive right into the playoffs after the Olympics get done. So Scotty will be going over there to the Olympics and then coming back and playing in the FedEx Cup, which is the Wyndham Championship, the St. Jude Championship, the BMW Championship, and then, of course, the Tour Championship. So, I mean, all 4 of those events, I mean, if he wins all 4 of those, boom, there he is, 10 wins, a record. He wins the Open Championship. He's even broke it even more. So, does he continue it? I don't know. we'll find out. What do you think?
I wonder how much the Olympics are going to throw a cog in the wheel when it comes to because all of that travel that you have to do at that point. I wonder if that messes him up. But he did win last year, right? When it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, did he? Yeah, he won. Well, I don't think he won the FedEx Cup. Who won the FedEx Cup last year? Maybe it was him. I don't think it was. Keith would know this off the top of his head. But, you talk about the travel. He's likely going to be going over if he goes over for the Scottish Open, then he's obviously staying in Scotland for the Open Championship the next week. But with the Olympics being in Paris.
It was Hovland.
It was Jay's boy, Victor Hovland. That's right. Won the largest money in one event ever by far. But he probably doesn't play in the Barracuda Championship and the 3M Open. So he probably just stays over there in Europe through the Paris Olympics and then comes back to the States. But maybe he doesn't because he's got his kid.
But the other thing is, and maybe he just doesn't care about it, but how many opportunities are you going to have to break this record?
Yeah.
And it is an individual sport here, so I would go for the gusto here.
You would think, because that's a great point. Is he going to have the start of the season next year again? Is he going to be able to, because this doesn't happen very often. It's just so difficult to win on the PGA Tour. The average person in their career wins once every 4 or 5 years, and he's already won 6 in 15 starts this year. And the other ones that he hasn't won have been pretty close as well. So, but some cool stuff going on. We'll keep you updated on the Rocket Mortgage Classic, as I think a lot of guys Keith picked are doing pretty well. We got to go ahead and take our top of the hour break. When we get back, we'll have some afternoon delight debrief. You're listening to Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
The Knicks are pretty close, and they're in the East. In the East, there's one team you got to beat, and I don't know that anyone can. But I think the Knicks would have given Boston a tougher fight than anybody wound up giving them if they had been healthy, candidly, even if they hadn't been healthy. So if they are any semblance of healthy, and you told me right now someone besides Boston is going to win the East next year, I would take the Knicks.
Greeny. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds and a high of 86 with wind 13 to 17 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. A mixture of some clouds and likely thunderstorms tonight and quite warm near 80. Definite thunderstorms and 86 tomorrow. This is your Thursday's weather sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
For the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 FM in Panama City Beach. 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can watch, listen, like, subscribe, share, comment, all those wonderful things on our social channels. That's Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search up ESPN Northwest Florida. And if you're already following and listening, we appreciate you very much. You can also head over to the Google Play or Apple Store, depending on what device you have. Search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and hit the old download button. Get your Face ID or whatever they do on the Android phones and get that downloaded. So all you got to do is pop it open, hit play, and boom, ESPN Northwest Florida is live for you. You're going to want to do that sooner than later as we have football season coming up, and we'll have lots of football going on. I know DJ Davey Crockett and Kyle Wright will be back out there calling the Mosley football games. It's hard to believe. I know it doesn't seem like, but we're getting close. July 1st is next Monday, and that really only gives us, 45-ish days till the start of high school football, so to speak. Time is flying by.
I think we're going to have another media event. I don't know if we're going to be out there or not. I would assume so. Four Quarters Online is wanting to do another little high school media day, July 25th at Dave & Buster's. I would hope that we can get the shows out there and be a part of that. But yeah, season's right upon us.
It's close.
I don't think we're going to be calling the South Walton kickoff classic between Mosley. I think that'll be starting week 1 against Rutherford. That'll be Mosley and Rutherford week 1. Nice. I'm excited about it. Played softball actually with Sam Freitas, the quarterback from Mosley.
Nice.
Not with Sam, but with his brother Michael.
Gotcha.
So that was interesting and how that all played out. But yeah, really excited about this season for Mosley and for the rest of Bay County football this year.
Absolutely. Noble coming over to Bay. He's going to be playing. He's starting quarterback for them. We had a chance to talk to him at the QB Vision Camp and just got a lot of great football teams across all of the Florida Panhandle, and it's going to be fun. We're right around the corner. But always got to thank our studio sponsor. That's Bill Kramer, GM, and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. And I think Kramer Marine and Outdoor was heading out to the Gulf of Mexico this morning as they had a team in the Bay Point Billfish Open. So good luck to Chris and the rest of the crew out there. But if you're needing to get your boat back out on the water, if you're just wanting to buy a boat to get out on the water, or if you're just done, you don't want to do boating, fishing, any of that stuff anymore, they can handle all three of those things. They sell Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and Skeeter. Seabourn, Spider, and Sundance are all part of the CRI family. They can fix your boat up as they've got Yamaha outboard full-line dealer, Yamaha Master Certified Mechanic on staff. They'll come to you with their mobile service. And then, of course, if you don't want to have that boat anymore, they'll sell that boat for you, take a small commission, but they'll take all the hassle out. You don't have to deal with Facebook Marketplace, people no-showing you, people lowballing you, all that stuff. That's right there. You can give Kramer Marine and Outdoor a call at 850-851-0453. And then, of course, Bill Kramer, GM. Tons of vehicles right there in the lot. If you drive by it on 23rd Street, you cannot miss it. They've got express service, regular service, tires at cost. You can give them a call, 850-250-1403. They will make it easy and take great care of you. That's Bill Kramer, GM, and Kramer Marine and Outdoor right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street.
Skeeter.
I feel like I haven't seen Jay in months.
I hit him
and it
up
really
the
hasn't
other
been
night.
that long. I think it was last Tuesday he was in here with us, but it feels like forever.
It does feel like a while, man. I texted him Tuesday night after the win and was like, hey, man, missed you, and he's having a good time on his vacation, though, and kind of relaxing and getting ready to come back. I don't know. Does he got more youth camps when he comes back?
Not next week, but the week after next he does. Yep. And then I think that's it for the summer because all of a sudden that's late July and boom, school's right around the corner.
He'll be here till Thanksgiving, as he said last year.
Yep. Yeah, we know how that went. That's for sure. But we're looking forward to getting him back in the studio. Certainly miss him. That is for sure. Diving in some afternoon delight debriefs. This is not necessarily a funny story. This is a little PSA that the Zaire Golf Instagram account put out, and I thought it was just great. If you're a golfer and you want to play fast rounds or you're tired of people playing slow in front of you, if everybody just does some simple things to achieve this 4-hour round of golf, it's all the stuff we talk about, but it just seems to get kind of sometimes lost by the wayside. And it's nice and simple. All cart golfers, and specific to cart, because when you're walking you can go directly to your ball, but we don't have a lot of walking around here. All cart golfers need to do to give us a decent chance at a 4-hour round is Park at the back of the green so your group isn't walking towards the group behind you once the hole is finished. The exception is when a course routing forces you to go certain ways. Same principle goes for walkers. Drop your bag in a spot that gets you out of play for the group behind you as fast as possible. Pretty common sense, right?
Pretty common sense, but I think a lot of us do kind of get, like, as soon as we get to the green,
you
just
park,
kind of park right there. And this is one that I think I can learn from. You know, I mean, most of my rounds are getting under 4 hours for sure, because if I'm taking too long, I'm picking up and moving on.
There you
taking
go.
my ball going home. But yeah, that's one thing I think I can learn from as well is park that thing at the back of the green.
Yeah, absolutely. Or whatever your quickest route to the next hole is, that's for sure. And a lot of people do these things, and that's why you have groups playing faster than others. And of course, your ability matters too. And, you know, but you can play, I always say, if you're going to play bad golf fast. That's one thing I certainly do. Number 2, drop their cart partner off at their ball while the other cart goes and finds their ball. You don't need to codependently watch each other's every swing. What that means is, you know, if you're right side of the fairway, I'm left side of the fairway, I don't need to go drive to you, sit there and watch you hit and then go to mine. I drive to you, I say you got the clubs, you got your sand bottle, whatever you need, I drop you off, then I go back to mine, or I leave the cart with you and I go walk to mine.
Yeah.
So as soon as you hit, then I'm ready to go.
Keep it moving.
That's just another kind of common sense one, but you see it happen all the time. Number 3, if you're the one who got dropped off, take your shot and then walk towards the cart so you can link up quicker. Kind of what I was just saying. You know, if it just depends on, you know, you got different people, different abilities, different walking, you know, all that kind of stuff, and just do what's efficient. So, you know, once you hit that shot, you can go.
And most of the time, you know, you get dropped off and then you hit a little topper and it moves like 15 yards. Sometimes you'll see people like waiting to get picked up for a 50. You're like, dude, run.
Yeah.
Run, okay? Get some exercise out here on the golf course.
Grab a couple extra clubs. You know,
There you
take
go.
3. Have one for your shot. Have one for a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. All
Keep
that
your
good
putter
stuff.
with you.
Always keep your putter, absolutely. You know, not when you're teeing off, but when you get out there closer to the green, for sure.
Sometimes you know, keep it straight. Just putt from the tee box.
Yeah, there you go. The old Texas wedge off the tee box.
Yes, sir.
Keeps you out of trouble. Number 4, if someone is within 60 yards of the green, drop them off with a wedge and putter, and the other player proceed to park the cart at the back of the green. You don't need to cart someone to help them avoid a 20-second walk. If you're the only cart, or number 5, if you're the only cart in the group, use your cart to help track down other people's balls. You don't see that as much because we just don't have a ton of walking around here, but that's it. And they said, I find the above such common sense items, but the vast majority of cart golfers don't do any of the above. Not doing any of the above costs 30 seconds each. But if a player makes an inefficient decision 4 or 5 times over every hole, you're looking at an extra 40 minutes wasted for no reason.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it adds up.
40 seconds.
That's
Same way
it.
some will say $40 is $40, 40 seconds is 40 seconds.
Absolutely. And I think maybe the tour, the PGA Tour, some of these tours could set a better example when it comes to golf, because we watch professional golf and we see they read the green 6 different times. But they're playing for a lot of money, so I get that. That's another thing too. Like when you're on the green, you can read your putt from different angles, from different things, while other people are putting. You don't need to wait until it's your turn to putt to start your process of reading the green and all that stuff.
You better be breaking 80 if you're going to sit there and read that putt like it's a daggum book. And you better be making a lot of your putts. And if you're not making them, you better be, you know, dropping them pretty close than otherwise, because I'm a guy who, all right, get behind which way we're moving here, right to the left, and then, yeah, we're putting.
Yep, moving right along.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. There's just a lot of things you can do. You know, if you're in a bunker and you hit your bunker shot, you know, get up there, go mark your ball, go back then and rake the bunker while other people are hitting up. There's just a lot of common sense, but as we learned in this world, there's a lot of common sense that isn't so common. So, but I just came across that on it's a great Instagram account, by the way, but I came across that, just thought we'd give a little PSA today about, I guess you call that golf cart or playing golf hole etiquette, so to speak. All right, switching completely different gears, back to our normal Afternoon Delight debrief stories. This one comes out of UPI Odd News from earlier this morning. The title of this one is Manure Truck manure truck crash covers Connecticut home yards in liquid feces. Residents of a Connecticut neighborhood are dealing with a stinky situation after a manure truck rolled over, collided with a car, and spilled its odoriferous, that's a tough one, odoriferous, there you go, cargo. Ann Bedard, whose house is, I wonder if she's related to Connor, whose house is located at the intersection of Deerfield Road and Bremen Hollow Road in Pomfret. She said she heard the sound of a crash and rushed to investigate. She discovered a manure truck had rolled over and struck her neighbor's car, causing it to spray manure on her yard, a neighbor's yard, and their homes. It was literally a waterfall of brown, Bedard told WVIT TV. All of a sudden, we see a sewer coming out of a truck, and the petrol was coming out of the top. It was flooded down our property. Nicholas Provost, co-owner of M. Provost Trucking, was on the scene with a team Wednesday to help clean up the spill. We're going down 3 or 4 inches to make sure nothing seeped beyond that, Provost said. Then we'll come back tomorrow with fresh material and seed to replace everything that gets dug up today. Sheldon said the cause of Tuesday evening's crash is still under investigation. He said the driver of the truck sustained only minor injuries. But hey, I mean, if you're looking for some fertilizer from your yard, it seems like that would work, right?
I could probably help you out with some fertilizer in your yard right now.
There you go. There you go. It's got a little spice to it, but
yeah,
gracious. You know, you're just hanging out, and then boom, got some poop all over your house. Pictures are very interesting.
Oh my goodness! But they got on the house too.
Oh yeah, not just the yards, all over the house. But it sounds like they are making it right. But you pretty much have to at that point. But so many puns can be used in these kind of stories. That's for sure. Lots more to choose from here. Let's stay with keep with the truck spills. This one's truck spills 8 tons of avocados onto California highway. Maybe these avocados are from Mexico. I don't know. June 26, traffic was snarled for several hours on a California highway when a truck overturned and spilled a load of avocados onto the road. The California Highway Patrol's Redwood City office said a truck carrying 8 tons of avocados, that's a lot of guacamole, overturned on Highway 101 in San Mateo and spilled its load of superfood onto the northbound lanes just before 4 a.m. The crash involved 2 other vehicles, but no serious injuries were reported, the CHP said. The CHP said it took several hours to upright the truck and clear the avocados off the roadway. All lanes of traffic were reopened just after 9:30 a.m., the CHP said. So, maybe they were coming from Mexico, but, what do you do with those avocados? They spill? Are they still good? I don't know. Avocados are ripe and then they go bad so quickly. So maybe these weren't close to being ripe yet as they were en route to a store, and maybe they can get those avocados back up and running. All right. Animal one, you guys love it. We always do it. This is a kinkajou found at a Washington rest stop gets temporary zoo home. Seems like in recent news, maybe just because we talk about it a lot, there's a lot more animals that are escaping and ones that you don't normally see. But again, this is from earlier today. A kinkajou, an animal native to the tropical rainforest ranging from Mexico to Brazil, was found wandering loose at a Washington rest stop. The Point Defiant Zoo and Aquarium said the young kinkajou was found at a rest stop in Yakima on Sunday and was rescued by officers with the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife Police. The animal is currently quarantined at the zoo's animal hospital and will have a temporary home at the facility while the authorities investigate its origin. The young kinkajou's survival is a testament to the collaborative efforts of the state wildlife enforcement and zoo, highlighting the dangers of illegal pet trade, the zoo said on social media. While kinkajous are not endangered, they are hunted for fur, meat, and exotic pet trade, threatening their wild population. Kinkajous are known as honey bears, but often mistaken for primates, but are mostly closely related to raccoons. Despite their cuteness, kinkajous do not make good pets, the zoo said, which is probably a fair statement for most exotic animals. Although they may look cute, that doesn't mean they're safe. There's certainly something to be said for that. All right, a couple more, actually 3 more, and one's a follow-up story. I'll start with that one. We talked earlier this week about the elusive Boston cow that was on the run and they couldn't find it, but they said that reported cow on the loose is actually a bull, and the bovine is proving very adept at avoiding capture. Boston Animal Care and Control said the animal was first spotted Saturday at the intersection of Stella and Harding Roads in the Rossingdale neighborhood, has now been identified as a bull. Officials wrote on social media that the bull's owner was unaware that farm animals, with the exceptions of permitted chickens, are not allowed within the city of Boston. Officers have been searching for the bull for several days, as we reported this earlier in the week, and have been even brought in a thermal drone to assist, but have thus far been unable to locate the horned fugitive. If it was horned at first, you would have thought that they would have known it was a bull, but I don't know what the first sightings were. Anyone who spots the bovine is being asked to report sightings by calling 311 and not to attempt to take the bull by the horns themselves. I love these stories. They always have a little bit of puns in them, that's for sure. All right, little feel-good story from UPI as well. This is from yesterday. Lost dog turns up 1,000 miles from home after 2 years. A Maryland's lost dog turned up 2 years later after somehow ending up 1,000 miles from home. Tony Duncan said his dog Luna vanished from his Mardale Springs home after chasing some wild animals into the nearby woods and failing to return. Duncan said he never gave up hope as he would see Luna again, but he was still shocked to receive a phone call last week from the LaBelle Animal Control in Florida. Of course, the dog was just trying to retire and get to warmer weather. Animal Control told Duncan a dog had been found wandering in the parking lot of a LaBelle Walmart store and was scanned for a microchip, which identified her as the missing Luna. Duncan got into his car that same day and started the 1,000-mile drive to be reunited with Luna. It was a long distance, but it had nothing in comparison to the love I have for my dog, Duncan told the McClatchy News. The emotional reunion was caught on camera. If you want to see that, you can go to upi.com/odd news, and you can see it right there. That's a good feel-good story there for, you're missing your dog for 2 years. You always hold on to hope, and then lo and behold, it's down here in the great state of Florida. But yeah, so that was a good feel-good story. And then we got one more to end up here. We got animals, we got spills, we got avocados, we got poop, we got dogs returning after 1,000 years. We found out that the cow that they were looking for in Boston is actually a bull, David Hayes.
Oh, not a cow, but a bull.
But not a cow, but a bull, and he apparently very adept at avoiding capture. So, little update.
They still haven't got him?
Nope, still haven't got him. He's still on the loose.
Man,
yep,
that was my guy.
He's doing a good job. He's and they say don't take the bull by the horns yourself. Report it to 311.
They need some cowboys to come over there and really handle business.
Absolutely. I mean, I just don't know how you're not finding it. Anyway, last but not least, this is from yesterday as well. Man wins $1 million lottery prize at store he has visited for 20 years. That's not giving up. That's still buying that ticket every time. And eventually, maybe it'll pay off. Eventually it won't. But this guy, it did pay off. Massachusetts man learned the value of loyalty when he won